Welcome back to my podcast, Navigating Life in Spirit. This podcast covers mental, emotional, spiritual matters, and all that jazz. Hola, my name is Hilary Molefe, a life enthusiast and a sister in spirit. I will be sharing my takeouts from everyday life by covering an array of topics, my views on them, and how I've handled them. I am by no means an expert or a professional on the topics that are covered. This is solely a personal journey that I will be sharing with you. I love how today's episode came to pass. It wasn't any different to how all the others came up. It's just that so much has been happening that I wondered what I would be talking about. Was on my way to have breakfast outside like I have been for the past 2 weeks. It's been a very interesting way to break my fast while sitting in the sun. Today I looked up and saw beautiful patterns across the sky. At first the sun wasn't as warm as it usually is. I made sure to mention it, and no later than 15 minutes I felt warmth cascading down my body. There was something lovely about today. Everything just seemed to work. The breakfast tasted better. You'd swear that I was doing a kind of eating meditation. I was able to taste everything that I put into my mouth, from the cold, firm strawberries, the tartness of the granadillas, the squishiness of the grapes. But the one thing that stood out is how the kiwi seed was crushed by my teeth. The feeling of the seed split from the dark brown seed to the inner white seed on my tongue. I proceeded to soak up the sun when a gorgeous black, purple, white butterfly flew by. If anyone knows me, you know how much I love butterflies. You see, butterflies have a deep symbolism in my life. They appear just when they need to, when I am seeking answers. I've been thrown into a state of inquiry about everything pertaining to my life. Why it seems as though at times I lack drive, why I lack interest in some things. See, this is based on the trajectory of life that you get accustomed to. My career had taken a turn. It's been over half a year. The first 6 months were nothing short of an amazing tidal wave. However, as that period was coming to an end, that tidal wave became a thin waterfall. In fact, a waterfall that hasn't seen rain in a while. After an unforgettable ride, this felt like it was a perfect time to panic. What did this mean for the days that followed? What about my bills? What about my livelihood? One thing that popped up is the conversation I had with the universe. I remember saying that if there's anything, I expect there to be provision, because one thing I was sure of is that this was not my decision. They say that the universe will remove you from a table that is no longer aligned to your path. That rings true for me. That conversation plays back often, but I won't lie and say there weren't days when I was paralyzed by the uncertainty of it all. This is where the mind will play the tricks it has learned. I paid no attention to it, as I know that's when it becomes a party, as it would be inviting other negative thoughts to pop by. What I did though was let these questions be what they are and move along swiftly. Some will come back, which to me signaled that they needed attention. I often treat my thoughts as passing cars on the highway. I acknowledge each one as I should, but not necessarily entertain every single one. Otherwise, I would lose my mind. I didn't sign up for that after all. Speaking of thoughts, today's sharing is based off thoughts, shifting your thoughts to be exact. What does it mean to shift your thoughts from negative to positive? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And most importantly, what impact does that have on your life? I'm currently in a very curious disposition. The previous self would struggle to recognize who I am, and most of all, how my life has turned out. You see, I'm in a state where I should be depressed if it were up to societal's perception. Everything I knew seems to be everything I am questioning. The routine that has become my life startles me literally every single day on different wavelengths. It's something that is starting to annoy my ego, but in the same breath, my soul is absolutely loving it. How my ego recognizes it is it feels as though it's a space of ambivalence, but for my soul, it yields an energy of endless opportunities. That's the challenging part for me, mainly because like everyone else, I love being in control of my life. I want to know what I'm doing, when, why, how, the works, but at this point, it seems as though all control has been taken. It feels like a complete foreign concept to me. Some would call it surrender. Ah, yes, that's what we will call my state of being, the state of surrender. I've been here before, but it seems there's always something different every time I come visit. It's the most balanced place I could say I have visited. There's a level of uncertainty, but packed with certainty. As mentioned, because I've been accustomed to security and knowing all I can about every situation that I find myself in, every time I go through the uncertain phase where I am riddled with limiting questions about my state of thought, my state of being, and lack of worry, there's always a counteract that takes place. Most times it comes in form of absolute subtlety. It can easily be missed if too distracted. It comes in like a thief in the night, tiptoeing. As tricky as my mind can be, I frequently spotted however that doubtful ego will stab questions of its presence. It's a big job surrendering. It comes with changing the narrative of your mind. It comes with challenges for your mustard seed faith. Today I had a thought which I posed to others. That question being, what made you smile today? Name 3 things that made you smile. Of course, this meant that I needed to answer this to myself. It turns out that I had so many things that I was appreciative of. I went above and beyond the 3 things that I thought I'd come up with. 3 seems so minimal, but when you're undergoing uncertain times, it seems like a lot more. I really got excited at the thought that I had more than 3 and I was still going. I'll tell you one thing for free. No day is the same as the other. In the end, this is what matters. What state of health your mind is in that will allow your emotional and spiritual state of health to follow. Counter every negative thought with a positive one and see how that changes your life in the long run. I was going to go on and on about this in the third, but the truth of the matter is you have every control to change the narrative that your brain keeps telling you. Yes, you are in an unfavorable position that you can't change right now, but does that mean you must be miserable until something changes? And also, how will things change if you're stuck in the prison that your mind has comfortably set for you? Well, the first step is to alter your thinking. How about you start at finding out what your why is? Build onto that. Match every question with a step of how you will get yourself out of that prison. Yes, it sounds simpler than getting it done, but truly, you need to start somewhere. You will find that things aren't as bad as your mind tells you it is. Begin with looking at all the things you acquire, and I bet it will be more than what you imagined. Duality is a thing. Just make sure you allow yourself the chance to see the good in the bad before settling for the bad. You will start to like it more, and heck, you may very well start acknowledging the small things in life that work and focus less on what doesn't. There's a book I've been reading called How to Heal Yourself by Amy B. Sher. Not only is it a great read, but she also equips you with different strategies on how you can navigate your mind, in turn, your body and spirit. In closing, this is what I have for you. Start with small steps and see how you feel. I don't think one can go wrong in amending the way the mind is programmed. You can't want peace, love, and happiness and not practice them. They must come from somewhere. What better to be the first person to afford you those things? I am saying all this because I too am a work in progress. Don't let your negative thoughts define your journey and where or who you want to be. Remember, you are in control. Should you need someone to talk to about anything at all, drop me an email on navigatinglifeinspirit@gmail.com because we all need someone to talk to with a non-judgmental ear. I have some information for you to say out loud to yourself. I am in control of changing the narrative. I feel peace knowing that my thoughts aren't final and can be changed. I do everything from a place of positivity. I love my mind as it is a powerful tool. I speak my truth always. I see the differences I make from changing my point of view. I understand that in order for me to live a positive life, that I need to start being positive. With love and spirit, this is your sister in spirit, Hilary Malefe, signing out. Hi, Bechanya.